Once upon a time, there was a man named Nash. Nash worked an office job. He was very disorganized, so he had papers all over his office. He often lost things under all the papers. Nash was worried that he'd lose his job. He felt he hadn't been doing his work very well for a while, and he knew budget cuts were coming soon. Nash was terrified. One day, to try to make an effort to keep his job, Nash came in early. When he got to his desk, he moved some papers, trying to organize a bit. Suddenly, his hand touched something with an oddly cool temperature. He pulled it out and found a small vial with an orange substance inside. He couldn't tell what it was. Nash opened the vial. When he did, the orange substance popped out and landed on his desk. The orange substance looked like a glob of slime. Suddenly, the glob started shifting around. Nash got closer to get a better look, and the glob took the shape of a small boy. It looked like what someone would draw if they wanted to draw a person, but with barely any effort. The glob boy was orange and slightly transparent. He smiled and waved at Nash. Nash waved back. The glob boy giggled and ran around Nash's desk. The glob boy wasn't any bigger than Nash's finger, and it could get across Nash's desk in less than a second. Nash picked the glob boy up and set him on the ground. Nash couldn't help but chuckle as the glob boy ran around the room. The glob boy ran between two fallen over stacks of paper. Nash got on his hands and knees to look where the glob boy had run to, but he couldn't see anything. He reached his hand in, feeling around, when all of a sudden, he couldn't feel his fingers anymore. He pulled his arm out, and his hand disappeared. Blood gushed out of the end of his arm and got all over the floor. The glob boy came running out of his hiding place, still smiling, and looked up at Nash. The puddle of blood the glob boy stood in got soaked up by the glob boy's body. Nash took off his tie and tried to cover his wound, but it didn't do much. Nash looked down and saw the glob boy by his leg. He noticed part of his calf was now missing. His own calf was now missing. The glob boy kept smiling. Nash ran to his boss's office to see if she was there. With part of his leg missing, it caused him a great deal of pain to get there. The whole way there, he spilt blood. Nash slammed open the door of his boss's office, and he saw her there on the floor. She had chunks of her body missing, even a hand. Nash's boss had bled to death. Nash ran back to his office. He was going to try to stop the glob boy. When he got in, he accidentally stepped on the glob boy. He thought he had finished him off, but after looking away for a split second, he couldn't feel his foot. He looked back down, and the glob boy was where his foot used to be. Nash tried to move away, but he fell down. Suddenly, out of his mess of papers, he saw many more glob boys walk towards him. Bit by bit, Nash stopped being able to feel his body. The last thing he saw was the glob boy standing where his nose had been. The end.